listening to our podcast, the Slowpoke Travel podcast. We hope you enjoy our podcast. The podcast starts right now. Slowpoke Travel podcast with Buck and Camera Girl. Ta-da!
Hola, and welcome to the Slowpoke Travel podcast. I think that's recording, but hopefully this will work. I'm going to test our new GoPro Hero 11 without the battery charger and see how long the battery lasts. For some reason, I just turned it on. It's at 86%. Again, this is worse than the sound test. Who cares about that? But I got to figure out this new equipment. Camera Girl's working on her equipment. I just come over here to take you off. I'm always putting Camera Girl on camera without her...
Without my permission.
without giving her any heads up. What are you working on?
Oh, I have an electric stapler that isn't working.
Yeah, so she's out here doing mechanical stuff. You can always find Camera Girl out here in the shed working on electrical stuff and technical stuff. You know, we watched the Nate Bargatze special on Prime the other day, stand-up comedy. Comedian, Nate Bargatze. He's pretty funny, clean comedian. But he makes a joke about him kind of being, I don't know, his wife does all the masculine, you know, fix it up type things around the house. And that's the relationship that Camera Girl and I have. I do all the artsy-fartsy dreaming, and Camera Girl does all the practical stuff, which makes my life extraordinarily easy. I think I'd be in trouble. I think I would be in trouble in my life if it wasn't for Camera Girl. Do you think that's true?
No, I do not.
I think so. She has allowed me, actually, she's hurt me. Actually, she's caused me a lot of potential trouble because I've never had to acquire any actual life skills. I mean, I was able to muddle through half of my life without any skills. And probably right about the time when I was going to start dropping all the balls I was juggling, Camera Girl showed up and started helping me juggle my balls. So she has allowed me to continue living a life without any skills much longer and successfully than any one person should be able to. I guess she's in charge of the reality and I'm in charge of the fantasy. So I do a lot of fantasizing and scheming, and it's really not very profitable day to day, but it does pay off long term, I think. Because while she's keeping the boat afloat, I am working the astrolabe so that we may find our way to some island in the vast sea of we don't know what the hell we're doing. I don't even know what I'm saying. I'm just talking shite bombs. So I'm going to have to nix everything I said because it just didn't make any sense. Well, so I'll come over here and watch you work on tools, and maybe that'll be... Instead of having a travel podcast, we'll have a...
I don't agree with you. I don't think it made us lazy. You can occupy yourself wherever you are, and I feel like being able to get back to family and friends is not a bad thing.
Yeah. I concur with your psychoanalytical.
Shut up. Here, make yourself useful with your other hand.
Here. Oh, you just want me to hold this here?
Yeah.
Look at this here. I have practical skills. What are you trying to do? Is that a number 8? I think you're wanting a number 8 for this one.
Poke you in the eyeball.
I think you got a 6. This looks like a little girly stapler type thing.
Oh, I think the issue is in this part.
Here, maybe I should mic you up. Will you be mad if I come out here and give you a mic? This might help me.
How's it going to help you?
Let me go get you a mic.
No.
So this is a wireless sound system, but I don't have the receiver hooked up. But with this here, I'll just have multiple files and I'll just sync them up, and then hopefully our sound will be vastly improved and I'll be able to use this. when we're traveling. I'm going to lay you down here for a second. So you all take a breather while I work on Camera Girl's audio. So this is on. So I hit this. Oh yeah, you're going to enjoy this here.
I'm going to enjoy this?
Yeah. Because now we'll have good sound. I hope. Oops, let me turn it around.
What if I bang this stapler against it?
Well, that's okay.
That's okay. No,
because
it isn't.
we will have this audio, and we'll have this audio, and we'll have this audio.
I hope you don't want me to look up at something.
No, you don't have to. So between my 3 audio tracks, I should be able to find some kind of audio that works.
Okay, then.
So this is what we do. You try to do practical things around the house. And what do? I try to think of cooking videos.
Oh,
and
you keep us in great food. Mom's already said she's going to miss her chef when
we haven't told your mother yet that we're hitting the road again because
she might have heard us last
we just
night.
figured it out because we applied for a house sit in England on using our house sitting site. It took a long time for us to find one that was going to work because of my aversion to cold weather.
And Chef Buck is a cheapskate.
And we're trying to make this work in our budget, which is complicated because it's pretty thin. I mean, we don't have a great budget for what we're doing.
If we go month to month, you're right.
Yeah, but we do have a great budget if we're house sitting, depending on where we're at. Because we just did a house sit in Safety Harbor. On the Florida coast. What did we do? Like between 3 and 4 months of house sitting there?
I think between all of them, yeah.
In 2022. But we were living outside of our budget the whole time because it's such an expensive area and with inflation the way it is. I mean, we went to Starbucks today and we got 2 coffees, not even
We spent a lot of money in food in Safety Harbor, fresh seafood. It was great. But
I'm saying today, for just regular going out to a coffee shop, it's $11.
Sure, if you go out, it costs money.
Yeah, but I mean, that's like a luxury. 2 cups of coffee for $11, that's crazy.
Especially because if you make it at home,
you
can have more time to read.
Well, sure. You can save a lot of money if you just want to stay in your house. If we are in a location pretty much in the United States, we're going to spend a lot of money, even if we're lucky enough to have a house sit. If we're going to live a lifestyle where you can go out and get a couple of cups of coffee every day. So if you just do coffees and go out to eat 1 time a day, you're looking probably at $50. And if you do that every day...
Math.
Math, but I'm saying that is more than we can afford to do if we are paying rent and utilities and have a more standard lifestyle. We can't manage that kind of budget and do our online stuff, have an online lifestyle. But we can have an online lifestyle and travel and afford all that stuff if we're house sitting or if we are in some location other than the United States where those lifestyles are cheaper. So
but like you say, our biggest limiting factor is because our monthly income fluctuates and because we want to try to stay within that mean. Mm-hmm. That's why we are very conservative. We don't play the long game. We don't say, in a year it balances out, which it generally does. But we're trying to be even more conservative.
Yeah, we haven't put up much location travel stuff in a while because we haven't been anywhere that's really interesting to me.
Well, we have,
but we
haven't been making videos.
Yeah, we could have made videos in St. Augustine. We could have made videos in
New Orleans. We could have made videos
we did make a couple of them
about Wheaton Island and the tortoises.
Lots of stuff around Tampa. This area that we're at, we could make videos, but it's just I don't know what that is where you think that someplace other than where you're at is more interesting. I want to go somewhere and make videos. I can make tons of stuff right here. Oh my gosh, I can't turn it around on your mother, can I?
No.
I said that, I'm going to be in trouble. You know?
I'm going to be in trouble. She wasn't listening to you.
Oh yeah, you're probably right. Anyway, she just came out here to muck up my audio.
Or to test it for you.
Yeah, that's true.
Now, back up.
I'll test it. So, where were we at before? We're older people.
I know.
So
we don't feel like it.
So
unless it rains.
I think a lot of videos that we see on YouTube are younger people, or what is it, Gen something? Some Gen. Anyway, everybody looks younger than us, but it's like a lot of 20s and 30s.
Success.
Traveling around. And we're trying to emulate that lifestyle, which I guess you can do with a retirement income, or you can do with an online income. And we don't have the skills to make, like we're not coding, we're not doing any kind of, what's that? We're not doing some tech savvy online stuff.
That's right.
We're basically working for AdSense and that kind of stuff, and folks that want to support us on Patreon and all that kind of jazz. So we're cobbling together something and making it work.
But the reason, because you enjoy that creative stuff. I've been pulled into it, but you enjoy that. That's the other reason why we're cobbling it together with things we like to do.
Yeah, I mean, I do like making the videos, and I'd like to be more creative with them. I think I've whined about that before on the videos I've been making lately. And I am starting to upload some of our older creative stuff on Patreon. For a long time I didn't upload anything on Patreon because I did our Patreon and have our PayPal stuff, and we'll put, because just for folks that wanted to help us out, but we weren't getting really much of a response with that. So I'm going to start putting some content over there. So hopefully that'll bolster that. And we are going to head down to South America. So instead of house sitting, instead of going somewhere where it's cold, because we applied for a house sit in England, and we were a great place. Yeah, and we were sort of in. What were we in? I guess we were in the mix. I guess we were in the run for it, but the folks weren't making a decision very fast, and I feel.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I feel like I don't have any control. I mean, I get excited about. A house sit or a potential travel option. And so when we apply for a house sit, I sort of expect us to see a house sit, and then I expect everything to start tumbling in a direction. Either it's going to work out or it's not going to work out. But I hate being in a limbo. I hate not knowing what's going on. So we applied for a house sit, and then we were sort of in communication with the folks for, what was it, 5 days?
Yeah, it wasn't long.
And but we weren't making any kind of momentum. We weren't booking the house sit, but we weren't, but it was still an open. See,
and for me, I just woke up one day and I just realized, you know what, let's do this instead. And that wasn't, so you and I came at that very differently. I still think it was a great place. I think there'd be great people, and we could enjoy it in the future. But I just went
expensive, just like we were talking about. If we'd have gone over.
Chef Buck was already whining about that.
Well, I mean, it was going to be outside of London, and I was looking. I'm whining about paying $11 for a couple of coffees here. We'd have been paying 11 bob for it there. And who knows what 11 bob is? I suspect it's probably $12 or $14.
Why are you making crap up?
I'm not making crap up, because we're researching a place, I'll go to, like if we were looking at a potential lodging somewhere, I will go to Google Maps and I'll start looking at the different services and restaurants around an area and trying to figure out how much it's going to cost for us to exist and enjoy ourselves. So we're looking to go to Ecuador in a couple of more months. So
lots of altitude.
Based on my research, instead of going out for a couple of coffees and spending on $10 or $11, we should be able to do it for $4 or $5
Well, and see somewhere different.
Yep, and maybe $6 if it's somewhere touristy.
And lots of fresh fruits and vegetables.
Yeah. And it inspires us to start getting healthier because we actually walked faster this morning.
To get to the new coffee place?
Yeah. Because we got to get back to our travel shape. Because if we're going to an Ecuador, Ecuador has, all different kinds of elevations. So sometimes we'll be at sea level. Sometimes we'll be spending gobs of time at elevation that we haven't done before. I mean, I used to live and work at a snowmobile resort in Wyoming when I was in my 20s and 30s. And that was at 8,600 feet, which is very high. But I was in better shape and I was younger. My veins and arteries were like this, as opposed to like this nowadays. So, I mean, I'm probably already oxygen challenged.
Okay, I think I know. I think this was bought at some thrift place or at an estate sale, and it didn't work then because it was already...
We're turning this back into a
no.
Tim Tool Time video? No, that's good.
Sorry, that is what I'm doing right now.
So
before you came over here.
Okay, so what is this video brought to? Who's sponsoring this video?
Arrow electric stapler.
What are you going to do with this here?
Pew, pew.
Don't even do that. I've seen Arnold Schwarzenegger.
It's locked.
Wipe out platoons with those. Okay. Yeah. The famous last words. It's locked. Have you ever seen the video of the police officer?
I'd already checked it. Look, it won't go all the way. See?
Okay.
See,
fine.
watch.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, you never point that. That's called pulling an Alec Baldwin.
Oh.
I'm just saying. Just don't.
That's terrible.
It is terrible.
Oh.
So I want you to think about how terrible it is.
I don't need you to tell me what to do
me.
with handy. You can be handy.
It's still
bridges.
pointed at me. Well, here, if you don't want to think about me, just think about if you accidentally shoot the camera. But anyway, I get nervous whenever Camera Girl starts doing stuff like this here, too. Because I only think that she knows what she's doing.
Oh, you should have seen one time when I was replacing a toilet.
Yeah, you replaced the toilet here. What else have you done? Didn't you replace a water heater or you replaced the element in a water heater?
It doesn't matter, but I take my time and I research and I ask people, and then here comes Chef Buck. What? No. I try to make him stay as far away, but look what happens. I try to go out of the house. He follows me.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to learn something.
No, you're not.
Although I got to go back inside and practice our Spanish.
No, I haven't done that today.
Yeah, I've been studying Spanish now for a couple of years. Ever since we did the house sit in North Carolina, I started up our Spanish. So that's coming up on 2 years since I really got back into the Spanish again. And that was after doing our Spanish in Mexico and South America. When did we do our house sit in Chile? That was in...
Oh, I don't remember.
Wow, that might have been in 2019. So really, I've been studying Spanish off and on for 4 years, and my Spanish is terrible. I can't speak Spanish. I can understand it a little bit better.
But I think having that humility is good.
It's not a matter of having humility. I cannot understand it.
I think there's
I cannot speak it.
But you also understand it's important to go certain places to speak the primary language.
Well,
which some people, I don't think they quite get that.
Well, I think we can make it without Spanish wherever we went.
I think there's lots of smiling and saying, lo siento, por favor.
Yeah.
Sí.
Because we made it just fine in Chile. We made it fine in Mexico. I felt like, and you carried I felt like you carried the burden of Spanish in Mexico.
Because of the phone?
I don't know, but it seemed like whenever we would go to the bus station counters or whatever, it seemed like you were doing the main communicating.
Yeah, before we got there, I had written out a couple of sentences.
Oh, that's true. That's true. You would, because you like to research and you like to be prepared.
Well, and my Spanish is worse than a toddler. Yeah.
Yeah. I used an online service where I paid a native speaker in Mexico to kind of giving me one-on-one tutorage. And I did it probably 5 or 6 times. And it was very reasonable. I think I was paying $8 or $9 an hour. And I would do it once or twice a week. But I only did it for like a month and a half because I'm not at a level where I can really take advantage of it. If I was serious about learning Spanish, I would spend more time doing the things that I'm already doing, which is watching YouTube tutorials, Duolingo, watching Spanish language TV and stuff like that. If I do that, or just read passages of Spanish from online sites where they have reading samples in Spanish, I think that really helps. And I think I would need to do that a lot more before I could take advantage of a one-on-one.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah. I just feel like I can't converse. I'm not at a basic conversant.
But didn't you
level.
use tutors that also spoke English, so they would be able to help you?
Sure, definitely, and it was enjoyable, but I don't think that I was at a level where I could get enough out of it. I thought about us going to Guatemala and doing like the whole, what's that place, Antigua? Going to some Spanish language type thing, but you're not interested in that.
I'm not.
Yeah, and I think that would require, we both have to be interested in whatever we're going to do. But I think just spending time in a Spanish-speaking country will improve our Spanish. The thing is, like going to Ecuador, I think right off the bat we're going to get 90 days. So we can only make plans for about 80 days because we want to give ourselves, we don't want to be like counting the minutes down to when our visa expires. But hopefully we'll be able to extend our visa there if we're enjoying ourselves and if everything's working out and if the elevation doesn't kill us. I don't mean kill us, actually kill us. I mean if it doesn't wipe us out. I was so high on Mexico when we left Mexico, and the food there was so great. I'm not expecting the food in Ecuador to be as nice as what we had in Mexico. I mean, when we were in Chile, the food, we found good places to eat. You can find good places to eat anywhere, of course. But in Mexico, it was the places that weren't great to eat really stuck out. So I think that's kind of spoiled me. But anyway, I'm just rambling now. This year, I started this out at 87%, and now it's at 59%. And I don't even have it hooked up to my little charging battery thing. So I think this might work out. I think I need to get a harness, though. Like one of those things so that I could attach the camera to my chest.
And then I can attach a leash to the back of you.
Like a toddler?
Yeah.
But then that way I can do kind of walking around videos. Because I like doing those. I did some in Mexico with the little action camera I had there. But I don't like having my camera so that it draws attention to myself because I'm too self-conscious when that happens. And plus I like looking at videos where people are just walking around in more natural areas, non-touristy areas, and talking. I like to hear what people are thinking while they're walking. I don't just want to see
B-roll.
Yeah, I mean, I need something semi-entertaining or informative, which this video is not going to qualify.
I think we're going to have to write some things down.
Oh, for sure, but we will have some information eventually when we go somewhere. We did some pretty informative videos in Mexico.
Yeah.
As far as how much things cost, and when we were in Chile, and so hopefully we'll do that wherever we go, because that's the kind of stuff that I like to find online. But anyway, that's it. Thanks for listening and watching our stuff. It's just been a lot of talk stuff, and that'll continue in the future, but maybe we'll have some. We're getting very close to having some pictures and words.
Oh, from another place?
Yeah, that might be more interesting. Camera girl doesn't know how audio works.
Buck doesn't understand when someone's working on a project.
That's it. I do
How
not
that
understand
works.
work. But anyhow, thanks for
exactly.
watching. And we'll talk to you in the future. Adios.
Adios.
All right. Thanks. Oh, I wasn't even recording.
What?
Alrighty, that is it. We wrapped it up. Another fantastic podcast to add to our fledgling podcast canon. So if you enjoyed it, click, subscribe, review, share all over the global internet sphere. Thanks for listening, and we will see you next time on the Slowpoke Travel Podcast.